Hey guys, we're at Lawton, Oklahoma. We're a little sweaty. We just got done with slack here. This is Scot. He's a good buddy of mine. We grew up in southeast Colorado and learned how to bulldog together a little bit, but now he's a working man. He's one of the really good officials of the PRCA. He's working here and he goes about every 2 rodeos a week maybe? Sometimes.
Summertime is busy.
But he's gonna answer a lot of questions about the barrier. We had a lot of questions come in on our fan page of how it works, and fans want to know a little bit more. He's also going to explain the barrier to where some of the contestants might not know where it's set at and where it pulls at. So maybe we're going to learn a little bit from Scot here this morning.
Okay, at rodeos in the timed events, we use what's called a Hallettsville barrier, which allows the animal the predetermined head start in front of the cowboy. And this is what we call a neck rope. It's tied with a string. It's just cotton string like you see in the butcher shop. And we measure the length of our box, and then the length of the score is determined by that and by arena conditions and by the cattle. In the steer wrestling, for example, the regulation in a standard box is 5.5 feet less than the length of the box. The score is where that animal's nose is when that animal reaches that length. And then this barrier will pull at that point. Here at Lawton in the team roping, for example, the score is exactly the same as the length of the box, what we call even or same as in rodeo terminology. And that means that the steer will have a 15'11" head start because the box is 15'11" deep. This neck rope is measured so that when that animal reaches that point and his nose is even with this score line, the barrier will pull and release the rope in front of the horse, and the animal at that point has that desired head start. The neck rope in the steer events is actually measured 2 feet shorter than the length of the score, and the idea is when it's around that animal's neck, his nose will be at the score line when it pulls. This is actually what we call the barrier. It's a piece of poly rope. We use poly because it doesn't stretch like nylon or cotton rope does, and it's what stretches across in front of the horse. On the end of it is a pigtail. The pigtail is tied with a piece of that same cotton string. If the contestant leaves too early before the animal reaches that head start, he'll break this string and the pigtail will come off, and that's thus indicating a broken barrier. Now this is hooked through a pulley, and then it hooks in with a piece of bungee. The bungee is what actually retracts it, and that has to be fast so it gets out of the way when the contestant comes by. It will also have a stop in the back so that it can't move when the horse comes through. And we use our stop, we like to use a bowline for our back stop, and then there's a stop tied in front to catch the slack when it goes by. When we pin it, it causes the bungee to stretch, and that's what gets the rope out of the way. There's also a flag tied to the barrier. This is where time starts. When the contestant breaks the barrier or when the animal releases the barrier, this flag will move, and that's where the timers will start the time. This is the flag that they're watching, and the flagger in the field will drop his flag when the run is completed, and that's when time stops. It's always between these 2 orange flags.
All right, guys, hope you learned a little bit about the barrier. If you break it, you don't win any money, but it's a fine line. If you see too much, the steer can actually take another jump and a half to catch it, and so you might not win any money too. And so it's just a real fine line. Sometimes the steers leave really hard, and sometimes they slow up right there and you break it, and just you're not trying to break it. But that's what the barrier is designed to give the steer a head start and everybody the same chance at the money. So thanks, Scot. Thanks for your time and great job. Appreciate it. We're here at Rodeo Sports Promotions. Hope you have enjoyed our episodes and our live feeds. There's a few things you can do to make sure you don't miss out. Number one, you can go to Casey Jones Rodeo on Snapchat and add me, because I always send a snap out let you know there's a live feed coming or when the next episode on YouTube's coming out. Number 2, you can go to YouTube and click on the subscribe channel. It's free, and that way YouTube will notify you when the new episode's out. And number 3, you can go to Pro Fantasy Rodeo Facebook. Facebook has a new deal now. You can click on subscribe first, and then every time we post any new content there, live feed or a new episode, you're notified and you'll see it first. And then also we've been putting all the RSP content on Pro Fantasy Rodeo. But we'd like to start getting people over to Rodeo Sports Promotions Facebook. So go there and like that so we can start putting some content on that channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you down the road.